Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kerbal Space Program. Yeah, it's Resender here, and yes, I'm going to show you something. Shall I look first here? No. Well, the first thing you'll notice here, I've put a lot of more um, quote-unquote geostationary satellites in orbit, communication satellites. Shall we look at one? Or did I show them already? So I was testing my probe, my lander orbiter design for the ELO mission when I hit a bit of a snag. Okay, yeah, that's it. See, these are my geostationary communication satellites. So basically, I stepped off of the ion engines for the probe, and I went with the nuclear engine, and I made a mistake with the design, and I lost the nuclear engine. And the probe was hurtling towards the moon. So I thought, there's no way I'm gonna save this. So let's land the lander on the moon and let the orbiter die. Well, problem is the lander died, so I went and watched the orbiter slowly descending towards the surface of the moon. When I noticed, no, not that one. What's the target? That one. When I noticed on the board that I actually only needed 50 meters to circularize the orbit at 5 kilometers. So yeah. So I took that. I circularized the orbit at 5 kilometers, and I'll be showing you as soon as we have Kerbin rise what the orbit is. So I've targeted the geostationary satellite. That's a fixed point. I can't target Kerbin. It's a feature or a bug. Once you're close to your target planet, or close to your planet, and you can't target that specific point. So I can't target Kerbin. And with the amount of debris in orbit, the geostationary satellites are an easier target. So that enormous black thing in the background, and there's Kerbin. Let's have a look at the orbital operations, and yes, we have an orbit of 6 kilometers by 8 kilometers. And when I started to get into the orbit, it was only 4.5 kilometers above the surface. But yeah, this orbiter is skimming the surface of the moon. Yeah, and I can't go fast because it's. Oh, there's a few mountains, but actually we don't hit any. And because this thing is targeted at the satellite in geosynchronous orbit of Kerbin, it's always going to be fixed in Kerbin wherever it is in orbit around the moon. So that's why earlier in the video it was actually facing the moon. And look at the background. If the Kerbin was on board, he could touch the moon. Oh, there's no Kerbin around. It's station. It's an unmanned, and there we have a lander sitting there. Yeah, there's an arch, and we're quite. This is actually was quite scary, but we're quite close to the surface. Other than that, this is fantastic. So yeah, this is the orbiter design. We have the two parabolic antennas. These engines are meant to, were meant to put it in orbit around ELO. Then it would go, and then the central stage would be left with its short-range antenna for the communication with the lander, and a parabolic for communication with Kerbin. But that didn't work out. So, and now I decided, yeah, we'll leave the pieces on there. It looks nice. So basically, what happened is was another stage behind here with the nuclear engine attached. There were two side stages to make sure the probe didn't lose delta V as soon as the nuclear engine had to go on it, because then it went from the strongest of the smallest engines, the 251. It went to the nuclear engine, which only has 60. So there were two 200s to make sure that the delta V loss of the entire craft was minimal, and of course, not paying attention uh, when I decoupled the shroud of the nuclear engines collided with the 201s, and then they bounced back inwards and blew up the nuclear engine. And since the fuel, how the fuel lines looked, I had lost like 1/3 of the fuel, so I decided to cancel the mission, try and land the lander, but the lander crashed, unfortunately, and the orbiter was also going to crash, but I managed to I managed to get her into an orbit, a very close orbit, a very close orbit indeed. So when you watch this, I challenge you to make an orbit around Mun with a craft this size. I am. You may use MacJet, but if you can do it without it, even the better. And you have to be at a minimum of 6 by 8 kilometers orbit. So either a similar orbit as this one, 6 by 8, or 8 by 8, 6 by 6. If you can get closer to the moon without running in any features, that would be nice. That would be nice. And if you can do it manned, that would be even nice. So my name is Resender, and you are watching an ELO. And yeah, small error in the background. And you have seen my ELO orbiter at an extremely low orbit around the moon. Goodbye.